health and lifestyle coach and a certified menopause coaching specialist, and excited to really share my passion with you, which is the topic that we will be speaking about tonight. And we're talking about diet culture and the impact that it's had in our lives, and how we can undo some of the doing that diet culture did to us and really make some changes in our health and fitness. So I did ask a question before all of you hopped on about, what brings you on tonight, what intrigued you to hop on. So Linda, thank you for commenting. So the endless battle, trying to get stronger and lose the belly. That is a common theme that I hear a lot from my clients. A lot of times with my coaching clients, I hear things like, my body's changing. I don't feel comfortable in my body. I don't recognize my body anymore. I'm not really sure what's going on. I haven't changed anything, but my body's changing. And it can become a very confusing time. Now, so I just want to acknowledge one thing. I think we do have a gentleman on, which is perfectly fine, because I'll tell you something. Yes, I'm going to touch very briefly on perimenopause and menopause, but I want to tell you, all of you, that the way in which we get stronger in our body, there's not much change between what men do and women do. All right, the rules apply across the board. So grateful for anybody who's on who wants to make a difference in their life, in their health, and who is sick and tired of being on that hamster wheel of trying to make changes. Oh, it's Nancy, Alan's wife. It's be okay if Alan's on. I'm not offended if guys are on. I do love that people are trying to make a change. So, okay, so Nancy wants to learn something new to make some healthy changes to manage weight, the weight changes that happen in our 40s. Yes, so I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. All right, we're going to get started. My goal is to be done by 8:30, ideally 8:15. So I love to talk about stories. I tend to teach by sharing stories. I will try to keep my stories as concise as possible. But I just want to welcome you here tonight and just share with you what my goal is for tonight. Okay, so I want to help really bring to light why traditional diets fail for women and people overall midlife. I want to really explain, I'm going to explain at a very high level. So I'm not diving deep into what's going on with your hormones, your metabolism, and your energy, but I will touch on it. Okay, what actually works for weight loss in your 40s and 50s without restrictions or gimmicks, and how to set yourself up for decades of confidence, strength, and results. And I want to just write down the words metabolism and energy because I want to make sure I touch on those. So a little bit about me, so you know who I am and why am I speaking to you. So my name is Michelle. I'm a mom of three. I have a 16, 14, and 12-year-old. I am a wifey. I'm a certified menopause coaching specialist, a certified health coach, certified life coach, registered massage therapist, group fitness instructor, founder and creator of Midlife Magic membership, and the host of the Midlife Magic podcast. I love to learn, and I love to learn about all things health and wellness. I've always been very passionate about the human body, which is why I decided to go into the massage therapy profession straight from high school. I've done multiple coaching trainings, as you can see, but when I'm being very transparent and sharing my story, I never had the courage to start a coaching practice. And if I'm really honest about it now, 20 plus years after I took my first coaching training, it's because I didn't really know who I wanted to coach. Like what area of someone's life did I want to coach? I was lucky enough to get the courage to reach out to a local gym here in Milton 2 years ago when I decided to start coaching. And I reached out to this local gym who does a transformation challenge, and I said, "Hey, how about you hire me to be the mindset coach for your transformation challenge members?" Because I saw people going into the program focusing on nutrition and focusing on movement in the gym, but there's so much more than just nutrition and movement when it comes to your journey and your results. There has to be a mindset piece as well. Because if we don't change what's in our brain and the way we speak to ourselves and the way that we think, we're not going to create lasting change. And I was grateful that he said yes. And I've been coaching in that group for 2 years. And then I knew also I wanted to create a private coaching for myself as well, a coaching practice. And really felt like I fell in love what I was doing with that group. And I knew health and fitness was the niche I wanted to be in. Now, I also had this revelation that I was in my midlife years. I was 46 at the time. I'm now 48. And I thought, okay, so I understand like I'm seeing those changes in my body. I've been starting to make some changes in my body to to change the changes, if that makes any sense. And I want to help other women do the same. And this is why I am here. So this is my passion project. I love what I do. I love helping women have those light bulb moments that go off and that they see things differently and they feel different. So as much as we all, and I raise my hand because I am one too who wants to see changes happen in my body, what is so important is what happens between our two ears, right? Because that has to change as well. We have to change how we look at ourselves, how we speak to ourselves, and all of those things. So, just as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to touch incredibly briefly on perimenopause, menopause. What is it? What is happening? So, perimenopause is the beginning stages of this transition into menopause. And this stage can it begin in the late 30s, early 40s. It varies woman to woman, and it can last a very long time. It can last 7 to 10 years. And how do you know at any time um, how you are in perimenopause? And the way in which you know is by experiencing some changes. You experience symptoms. Okay. Perimenopause leads into menopause. How do you know when you are in menopause? Uh, Let me go back. How do you know you're in menopause? Menopause is, this blew my mind when I learned this, ladies. Menopause is one day of your life. Menopause is when you have gone exactly 1 year without a period. That means you are officially in menopause. So you can hear the words perimenopause, menopause interchangeably. Menopause signifies that one day, but a lot of times we talk about the whole transition as menopause. It's just the language that we tend to commonly say. So you experiencing symptoms, I already mentioned that. And here are some symptoms that I want you to see that we can experience in the perimenopause years. And these are just some of them. These are not all of them, but I want you ladies to look at this chart of symptoms and see if you recognize any of these things in yourself. Okay, so when I first started having symptoms of perimenopause, I was getting really heavy periods. My breasts were really tender around the time of my period. Brain fog, lack of motivation, moody, like moody, crazy lady was like me. Those were some of the major, like the bigger symptoms. Oh, trouble sleeping. I was having trouble sleeping. When I first learned about itchy ears, do I have itchy ears on here? I have itchy skin. I was like, oh my gosh, like a couple days after I first heard about it, I started having itchy ears. I'm actually itchy right now, so that could be that could be just coincidence because I'm thinking about it. Decreased sexual desire, I had that as well. Increased weight circumference, I had weight gain. So I would love for you if you feel comfortable. As much as I don't want to take everybody off mute because I love to talk and then I love to talk to you and then we'll be here all night. But we will have some opportunity to share at the end. But please comment in the chat, what symptoms have you experienced? Now, you may not have even recognized that it was perimenopause symptoms that you were experiencing, and it may not be. We can't just say like everything that you feel is happening because of perimenopause, but it could be. So put a comment, any changes that you have experienced. I'm gonna wait until someone does. Let me see. Let's see what's going on here. Your lady's gonna be shy. I just listed all of my symptoms for you. Okay, you can be shy. I will carry on. Weight gain, sleep issues, hot flashes. Yes. I have not had hot flashes yet. I've had odd evenings of waking up a little sweaty. But it's very, very sporadic. Nancy, almost everything on Tammy says almost everything on the list. I always want to call it Nancy Allen. Itchy legs, itchy ears, brain fog. Yeah, it's kind of wild. When I did a course for my certified menopause coaching specialist, and I was learning about the hormones. I'm no hormone specialist, but I got a high level of how the hormones work. And when I learned the amount of systems that our bodies are like that affects our bodies, well done. The amount of systems that the hormones affect. It blew my mind because I used to think that anything perimenopause, menopause related was only specific to the reproductive system. So you'd get changes in periods, maybe it's like this breast tenderness, like stuff that you'd feel around your periods or even during like pregnancy, like that's what we would feel. I never knew that there are estrogen receptors like all over your body. So it blew my mind when I heard that, which is why I think it's so important for us to educate ourselves about what is happening in this transition and educate ourselves on ways in which we can help ourselves thrive and support our bodies through this transition. So speaking of that, how do you treat perimenopause and menopause? You treat the symptoms. Okay. So if you are someone who, I want to speak to a couple things first. Um, so we treat the symptoms, I'll get back to in a second. But when I talk about how do you know if you are in perimenopause and menopause, oftentimes my first reaction, and maybe yours too, is I need to go to the doctor and get some blood work done. Okay. Many people, I have so many clients who say that. What I have learned through my own personal naturopath and through my studies and through the research that I continue to do is that you don't need the blood work. Okay, you just need to focus on what it is that you are feeling, like the symptoms. Some doctors may say, "Oh, okay, let's send you for blood work." But here's what happens with blood work is that the blood work that you take on Tuesday at 2 o'clock only shows where your hormones are on Tuesday at 2 o'clock, and your hormones are always fluctuating. So it doesn't give you a real snapshot of what is happening. So then a lot of women go to the doctor, get blood work done, and the hormones look quote unquote normal, and they feel invalidated. They feel like if my hormones are normal, why am I feeling this way? Your hormones are always fluctuating, so the blood work is not necessary. Okay, not the only time, but one of the times that where blood work may be required, but it really isn't because again, you're following symptoms, is there is a marker for when you are officially in menopause. Like when you're officially in menopause, your hormone called follicle stimulating hormone is at a certain low point. Okay, and when it's at the low point, that is a signal of check mark. Yes, you are in menopause. But typically, a doctor will say you're in menopause if you have not had a period for a year. Okay, so we treat the symptoms. That's how we treat the symptoms. So we focus, and this is what I do with my clients, is focus on health, strength, and weight management. Okay, and by focusing on health, strength, and weight management, we can help a lot of the things that are happening in our body and support our hormones as we go through this transition. So, we're going to talk a little bit about diet culture and the lies that we're told and sold. Okay, because here's what I'm hearing from women is that I went to the doctor and I was talking about my symptoms and they just say, "Well, you're in perimenopause or you're starting this transition. Go home and lose weight or just go home and kind of deal with it." Okay, so a lot of times the weight gain does happen, and a lot of times we want to be able to support a healthy weight. So women will tend to go home and think, I need to go home, lose weight. And how do you lose weight, right? They lose weight, you lose weight. I tried to lose weight. I've been dieting since I was a teenager. So decades of dieting, right? I looked for the quick fixes. We all look for the quick fixes because we want this to happen fast. We think about eat less, move more, shrink your body, right? These days, people are taking injections. The ease at which people are jumping to injections, like I have to do my own mental work on my thoughts on any kind of weight loss drugs. I do believe there's a place and space for it in this world for people with who are really struggling with weight. What I'm seeing, and it's hard for me to say because I feel like the drugs can help a lot of people, is that I see people who have dieting history and diet culture embedded in their brain, and they haven't done the work on the mindset to help change their habits. And so they go to the drug, right? So the GLP-1s, the Ozempics, and all those things. And the interesting thing is, like, a lot of times what people will say, okay, so yes, the drugs help suppress your appetite. Digestion moves slowly through your system, so you feel full for longer. And a lot of people say it quiets the food noise that's in your head, right? The food noise of what should I eat? When should I eat? Can I eat this? This is bad. This is good. We all have food noise. I've had food noise. And I can genuinely say to you, ladies, that by me making some changes 2 years ago that I'll share with you coming up soon, I had this revelation a couple months ago that it's like my food noise is like 97% gone because I've taken the time to change how I think about the things and see the way in which I'm making change and living this lifestyle. So I feel like most people, if they're willing to do the work, can create what the weight loss drug is doing for people, right? And honestly, I think you're better off because there's not just the drug that we need to take to suppress the appetite. We also need to move our body and focus on strong bones and focus on building like there's so many other pieces on this journey to help really like have your body function at its best. We're not just chasing a smaller body. We want to chase a stronger one. Okay. And then I have pills there as like supplements. I know, oh my gosh, I'll see in Facebook groups. What supplement can I take for weight loss? And should I take this metabolism booster? And should I take this? And should I take that? And people gravitate and they run to that bottle because the bottle is easy. It's easy to take the pill. I've done it in the past, right? I've done all the things in the past. I haven't done weight loss drugs, but I've done like all the stuff, dumb diets. I've done taking supplements. I remember taking some kind of ephedrine. I was in my 20s. And I swear I was waking up at night, my heart was pounding in my chest, and I was so close to asking my parents to take me to the hospital because I was like, it was just wild what was happening in my body, right? So just doing a lot of unhealthy things because I wasn't willing to do the true work. And when I think about what the work was, you're probably wondering, what is this work? Is like I we hear about diets and we hear what we should do, but we were never told the why behind it. Like why does intermittent fasting work? Why does keto work? Why does, what have I done? Eat right for your blood type work? Why does going vegetarian work? Did it work? Vegetarian didn't work for me. I actually gained weight doing a vegetarian diet for 6 months. But we are never told the why. We're just told, here, do this. Here's your plan on a PDF, download it, print it up, do it, right? So it's really important to know the why behind what it is you're doing. So we're sold and told a lot of things. So not only are we sold and told a lot of things, like we tell ourselves a lot of lies. We tell ourselves lies like, if I can't follow this perfectly, I may as well give up. Or if I can just work out more, then I can eat whatever I want. Or you say my body's broken because of perimenopause and menopause. It's all downhill from here. I just need more willpower. I'll be happy once I reach my goal weight. The scale tells me if I'm succeeding or failing. I'm too old to change. I should be able to do this on my own. And if I just find the right diet, everything will finally work. So we do a good job at complicating what we do. Because if we are all honest, we all know one thing that we could start doing tonight. I mean, there's one that we all know something that we could start doing right now. And now, if you're thinking, you might be thinking, Michelle, like, what is the thing that we can do tonight? It could be anything. It could be get to bed at a good time. It could be go have the glass of water. It could be go do 10 squats, right? Go walk up the stairs and up and down the stairs 4 times. Like there's something that we can do to get us started, but we're really good at complicating it, right? Because there is so much, talk about food noise, there's so much diet noise out there. I wish there was a freaking drug we can put into the internet to make it stop, right? There's so much noise out there. So think about all of the diets that you've been sold and told about. And I want you to think about what did they entail. If you want to comment and answer what did they entail, I will share my opinion on what they entail in a sec. I'm just going to take a quick drink of water. You guys are shy tonight. Oh, I have a comment. Let me see. Okay, so they all entail, I'll just share my opinion on it. They all entail some kind of restriction, right? Some kind of restriction. You have to give up something when it comes to, when I'm talking diet, I'm just talking nutrition. You have to give up something. Every single plan that is sold to you is telling you to give up something. Has anybody been sold a plan or told a plan that did not involve some kind of restriction? If if you if you had one that did not involve it, please comment that because I want to hear what it is. But we are told give up carbs, right? Give up, usually it's carbs, give up sugar, give up chocolate, give up chips, give up wine. I sold a program with a network marketing company that I was with for 13 years, and we gave up wheat, gluten, soy, dairy, alcohol, coffee. Um, I did it for a long time. I would do it for 30 days, right? And then I would stop. I did it twice a year, 30 days. Every time I did it, I lost weight. But on day 31, I wasn't still doing that plan, right? So we have to learn how to do these things in a way that's going to set us up for success. And what if we can do these things without restriction, without giving up something? Now, it may seem impossible, but I promise you, I'm living proof that it's possible. So, because things are designed the way these programs are sold to us, like restricting is hard, giving up things we love is hard, but we've been made to feel like we're the problem. You just don't have willpower, right? You must not have willpower. Why can't you do this? You know what to do, right? So we've all been made to feel that we were the problem and we're not the problem. Losing weight at any age is simple, and I'll show you how, but it definitely isn't easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Okay, everybody would be successful. I think if people can learn it the way I will teach it to you, it will be easier for people, but changing is not easy, right? Change can be challenging. Our brains are made and designed to keep us safe and to keep things the same. And the second we try to change, it's like the brain kind of freaks out, like, whoa, what's going on? Why are you changing? Not only does our own brain change, have you guys made changes in your life and other people freaked out? Right? Maybe you started a new plan, you're eating healthier, maybe moving, and people are like, what's happening? Why are you doing this? Right? You changing freaks other people out. There's so much and that encompasses all of this. So I'm going to share what I teach. And this is what I designed to teach that transformation challenge that I was working with. And so I called it the 7 pillars for effective weight management. And then when I studied to be a certified menopause coaching specialist, no word of a lie, ladies, the things that they want us to teach women in perimenopause and menopause were the exact same thing. And like these pillars stand for hormone management as well. So I want you to look at this little building I built here with these pillars. Okay. The pillars of protein, fiber, calories, strength training, sleep, stress, and steps. And I want you to look at this. And if I told you that if under these videos over here, I have the word mindset because mindset is important. I keep talking about what's happening between your ears is important. But the actions that you take, so there's actions and then there's mindset. So the actions that you take are encompassed within those 7 pillars. And if I told you that all you needed to do and learn in order to create the results you want for stronger, healthier, thriving bodies, losing the belly, losing the fat, all of that, that if it was encompassed in these 7 pillars, would you think that that would be possible? Or do you think like, oh, that it can't be? It sounds like too simple, right? It's not complicated enough. It's not flashy enough. It's not sexy enough, right? I didn't say in any of this that you give up sugar and wine, carbs, salt. You can still have those things, but you have it within like some parameters that you choose. So I can tell you that 2 years ago, after gaining 25 pounds, okay, so in my early 40s, weight started to come on. I gained 25 pounds. And on my story that I told myself, and maybe some of you can recognize this, is that my hormones and my metabolism must be out of whack. I'm in my 40s, right? We hear that the metabolism begins to slow down, and we hear our hormones can affect weight gain. Those things are not true, not completely true, not true in the sense that we think or the magnitude in which we would tell ourselves. Your metabolism actually doesn't change significantly until you're in your early 60s. Okay, there's a slight change, but some of the change that happens with the metabolism, a lot of like the some of the, not a lot of it, some of the change comes from a lack of muscle mass. We begin to lose muscle in their 30s, and muscle burns more calories than fat. And there are some other factors that may slightly modify your metabolism. Small. Not to the extent that I was saying, and not to the extent that probably you or maybe your girlfriends are saying. So I blamed metabolism and hormones. I went so far as to go to my doctor because I felt like there was a growth in my stomach, which really was fat, if I'm being very honest, because I bend over to tie my shoes and there was something there. And I thought maybe I had a mass inside my body. And I'm embarrassed to say it, but honestly, that was just where my head was with what was happening in my body. Nothing was there. I had this revelation that, holy crap, like maybe you need to start taking a look at your habits and your lifestyle and your actions and like what it is that you were doing. Because maybe there's something that you can do, Michelle, to help you like undo this weight gain, right? So I took some personal responsibility. I started to do some studying. I was starting to hear things on social media, like, increase your protein intake. And I was being coached. I was like, there was like a group coaching thing I was a part of, and they were talking to us about how to strength train effectively. So August of 2023, I did two things. I started increasing my protein intake. I did not do I didn't do low carb, high protein. I just started looking at how to get protein at every meal and then work my meals around it. I still had carbs, still had the things I loved, but how to work my meals around protein and how to effectively lift weights, right? And start tracking my strength training and just get to that point. Now, when I'm speaking about these things, I've been teaching fitness classes for 22 years. I've been exercising since I was like young. I was 8 and I was a competitive dancer. I was a dancer until I was 21. I took up running, ran some half marathons, went to the gym within there, did some fitness classes, became an instructor. I've always been in the gym. Okay, so always worked out. And so when I'm talking about tracking my weights and all those things, I was at the stage where I was ready to implement that in my early 40s, and I've been active all my life. So we all like where you will start may not be where I started, right? You can't compare your day one to my year 25, 30. So I started to track my workouts. That's the level that I was at that I wanted to do to get more concise with what it was I was doing, pay attention. I wanted to learn how to progressively get stronger. I wanted to focus on building some muscle. Okay, because muscle is really important. Long story short, I did that consistently. In June of 2024, I did a month of tracking my calories. I weighed everything I ate. I tracked everything I ate. This was something that I resisted doing for 10 years because I did it 10 years ago and it traumatized me. Like, and I know it sounds dramatic, but it was so overwhelming and it felt so restrictive. Like the diet plan was given to me. Have 100 grams of chicken and 35 grams of cheese. And then just I had to eat what was on this sheet. I had to. I chose to. I wanted to follow the rules, right? I wanted to be compliant. I wanted to be able to say to my coach, I did exactly what you said. And I remember like cutting up my protein, my chicken or my steak, and just in my head praying, please let this be 100 grams. I want to be able to at least eat this. I got to the smallest that I'd been in a really long time, but I was miserable. I have no desire to get there again because there's this balance we have to play with between having joy in our life and living a lifestyle, right? And getting results. We have to find the balance that works for all of us. So I tracked my meals for a month, game changing for me. It taught me what does eating a certain amount of calories look like? What do the serving sizes look like for me? And most importantly, what does it feel like? Because if I can connect to what it feels like, I don't have to worry about having a scale to weigh my food, right? I can recognize it with my eyes and I can feel it in my body, right? Important things we want to be able to tune into. So from there, I incorporated other things. Sleep got better. I do well at managing stress. Walking is another big one that I've like really changed dramatically in the last 2 years. When I was wondering why 25 pounds was on my body, I was eating too much. If I'm being very honest, I was eating healthy, but eating too many calories. Calories matter. Okay. And I wasn't moving much. I could work out every day, ladies, but still only get about 3,000 steps. Okay, that's where I was at. So I felt the word I want to say is entitled not to walk because it's like I already worked out this morning. I don't have to walk. No, I need to work out and I need to walk. We need to move our bodies more. So let me go quickly through these 7 pillars and just explain like how do they matter? Okay, I'm going to do it very quickly. Protein, why is it important? Like if you just tomorrow morning at breakfast have protein in your breakfast, okay, it's going to help change your day. Protein helps you feel full. It helps you feel full for a longer period of time. It helps curb cravings. Protein is important for building muscle. Okay, it's a really important piece in your diet. It's probably the easiest place to start. Eating an adequate fiber is great for heart health. It's great for gut health. It helps move, obviously, poop through your system and your waste through your system. A lot of studies are coming out, and I'm seeing a lot of things out there that getting adequate fiber can really reduce the risk of a lot of different diseases, right? So it can really help improve your health. Something as simple as just getting more fiber. And I say simple, fiber is one that I probably am least mastered. Okay, it's like it's lowest on the list. It's the thing that I still need to get better at because I am on this journey with you guys. All right, as I learn. You have to learn how to manage your calories. I actually teach my clients to know exactly how many calories do they need to help reach their goals, whether their goal is to maintain weight, gain weight, or lose weight. You need to know your specific number for your specific body. Our number is different for everybody. Strength training and the importance of it, right? We want to have muscle for many reasons. Resistance training also helps prevent things like osteoporosis, right? It keeps us strong. It's going to be the thing that will help us get on and off the toilet when we're 80 years old. This is the mindset we want to start shifting into, not shrinking, but getting stronger. What do you want to be doing when you're 70 and 80? How active do you want to be? Right? We have to work on those things now and not just start it when you're 70 and 80 because it's too late. I actually heard on a podcast, which tonight when I was listening to it, I'm like, I'm going to email this podcast to anybody who signed up for this masterclass because it's talking about the importance of muscle. And there's 4 experts speaking. And I want you to hear it to understand the importance of it. So one of the gentlemen said that if you are starting after the age 50, you're already almost too late to start. And it's never too late, but you're getting to the point where it's like, whoa, like we're getting to that place where we have to be starting these things to be so we can be strong and able and independent when we're older. Sleep is important because when we sleep, when we don't get enough sleep, our hunger hormones are out of whack, so our body doesn't recognize when we're full, and the signal for hungry just it's kind of heightened. Okay. When we're also tired, we don't have good decision-making ability. It's very easy to say, I don't feel like cooking, I don't feel like working out, I don't feel like doing these things, right? So sleep is really important. Managing stress is important for our hormones overall and for our body. And moving. We need to move more. So getting in steps. So two T's, two like the letter T's that I think that are really important for us on this journey, and the thing that diet culture doesn't talk enough about. If anything, people try to sell you a timeline that is really short and small because that is really sexy. That is like it's so appealing. You mean I only have to do this for 30 days? I only have to do this for 90 days, right? And then here's what we think, because I thought that way, that I could do the thing for 30 or 90 days. And then on day like 31 or 91, I can just go back to how I was eating before or back to how I was moving before. I never started any plan thinking I had to do it forever. Never until 2 years ago when like it's like the V8 moment when like as educated as I was in this space, it's like people never really explained or taught it. Like I didn't really learn it. So giving things enough time and trusting yourself. So oftentimes it's like 30 days, 90 days, I can be all in. So people are either all in or they're not in at all. Okay, so it's all or nothing. Versus what if we looked at it like this, and this is what I coach my client. What if you gave it a year? What if you gave it a year to gradually change your habits, to gradually learn the skills and the disciplines, and to become that version of yourself that you've been wanting to become for decades? When people hear a year, oftentimes it's like, oh, I don't want to wait a year, right? But here's what's happening. When you keep the cycle of 30 to 90 days going, you are in the exact same place years from now because you may get results in 30 or 90 days. I'm going to stick to probably 30 days is what most people can do. You may get results in 30 days, but those results are usually undone within 30 to 90 days. And then you're back to square one. And this is repeated over and over and over. And for years, people are in the same spot or in a worse spot. But if they just gave in and surrendered to, I'm going to give it a year. I'm going to be open to learning. I'm going to be curious about what I can do, what I should do. I'm going to gradually build these habits and I'm going to create change because I'm doing this forever. Like you do it, like I say a year, but a year transitions into forever. That's the goal because we don't stop doing this. You make modifications and tweaks, but 95% of the things we do forever. So change happens, you want the change to happen slowly. And then when it comes to trust, it's trusting yourself, right? And I put the word trust here because one of my clients messaged me a couple weeks ago and she's like, I've really fallen off the wagon and I need you to just help me, just tell me what to do. And I said to her, you know exactly what to do. You know, you just need to trust yourself. And she's like, that's the problem. And I recognize that trust isn't something I speak up enough of with my clients and something I want to speak of more. I have had trust issues with myself where I had, let's talk about trust. Who avoids having food in their house? Who avoids having chips or candy in their house because they don't trust themselves to be around it, right? Who maybe doesn't have alcohol in their house because they don't trust themselves around it. I didn't trust myself having chips because if there was a bag of the chips in my house, I wanted to eat the whole thing. My mentality was, Michelle, eat the whole bag of chips today, because that way tomorrow they won't be here and you can't screw up tomorrow. I could screw up today. That was my mentality. You're bad, right? It's bad food. You're going to screw up today's not a good day because I ate chips. What if today was a good day and you still had chips? Like that's where we're at now. So the chip story for my family, I need another drink, one sec. The chip story for my family. Hold on, did I hit record? Yeah. The chip story for my family is this. My family of five, oops, my family of five. So husband, wife, three kids, went through a Costco size bag of chips in 24 hours. So I remember having a conversation with someone. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, how is my family going through chips so quickly? And in talking to this person, I recognized that I don't trust having chips in my house. So I never had them in the house often. So when they were in the house, we would all devour them. And my kids would think, and because my oldest daughter talked to me about it after, she's like, Mama, like when you didn't have them or when they were here, we felt like we don't know when they're going to come in the house again. So they needed to kind of take as much of the share as they could. So I did an experiment last summer, not this summer, the one before in 2024. And I decided to have chips in my house all the time. And I can tell you, I put my toaster away this morning and there's two open bag of chips that have been here. I honestly think my kids forgot about them. The chips last longer. We have seasons where they go quicker, but they last longer than they ever have. We have cookies that go stale in our cupboard because we finally have these things in our house consistently. Okay, because we also teach like, try to, everything in moderation and balance it out. If you have some chips and have a bowl of chips, put the chip bag away. Like, but there's ways in which to teach to have these things. I don't devour chips anymore. I don't eat the whole bag. I don't screw up my day if I have some chips, right? And that was because I didn't trust myself. And I do trust myself now, but it took work. So trusting yourself that you know what to do and trusting yourself that you are becoming the person you wish to become. There's a great quote that says, every action you take is a vote for the person you wish to become. And the goal is to just have most of the votes that you take in a day be a vote for that person. Not every vote can be that way because we can't be perfect. We're not going to aim for perfection, but most votes. A big tip on any kind of journey that you do is understanding that you are not a light switch, ladies. Okay, because I'm sure you, like me, would pick a date like a Monday and you go to bed on Sunday night and you're like, tomorrow I am going to get up and I'm going to make sure I eliminate all of these foods from my diet because I'm not going to have this, I'm not going to have that, I'm going to do A, B, and C. And you think that you're going to wake up in that morning and you're going to have all the skills, disciplines, and habits in place to have you do all the things that you're telling yourself you're going to do. We are not light switches that suddenly turn on and off. Here's what I want you to do. Be a dimmer switch. Be a dimmer switch that gradually turns up slowly. You go up one notch or even half a notch or even a quarter of a notch. I don't care, but do something. And then once you win, you got to win. Once you feel good that you're winning at the something, you add the next thing. And once you're winning at the next thing, you add the next thing. Like this is why we want the year to be able to implement these things. And we're a dim switch. Sometimes we'll turn it up. There's going to be times when we need to turn it down, but we are not turning it on and off. All right. We're not all or nothing. So this is something this is like a little random for me to throw in here, but I think it's an important mindset piece. I'm just opening up my email because I want to read. I sent myself my notes on email. So I want to talk to you about like the stages of competence. This is something I learned in my coaching practice 25 years ago that always stuck with me, okay? And that you're going to have stages in your life when you're learning anything new job, parenting, all of those things, right? So I'm going to give you an analogy of climbing a mountain, and we're going to go through these different stages. And I want you to just see if you can recognize your own health and fitness journey, if you've experienced some of these different stages and what it would feel like to reach these stages. Okay. So we have, so we're going to imagine learning a new skill like strength training, tracking meals, or building healthier habits. We're going to think of them as climbing a mountain. So stage one is called unconscious incompetence. This is at the base of the mountain, and this means that you don't realize that there's even a climb ahead. You think you're doing all the right things, but you don't know what's missing. Okay. Stage two is now conscious incompetence because now you see the mountain and you realize that it's going to take some effort to make change. It can feel overwhelming, and you think, wow, this might be harder than I thought. Stage three is conscious competence. So you're climbing steadily, step by step. You need to focus, you're checking your map, you're learning, you're using your trekking poles, you're pacing yourselves. Progress is happening, but it takes energy, decision making, and focus and intention. And then stage four, and this is the stage we all want to get to, and you will get there when you give yourself enough time, is unconscious competence. Because you're reaching the summit, the habits feel natural. You're fit enough that climbing no longer feels like work. You can enjoy the view and the journey. So I want you to think about your journey on your health and fitness journey, whether it's making changes to your eating habits, to your sleeping habits, to your working out and your movement, right? The struggle is normal, right? But progress, you want to always be making progress step by step and know that it's worth it, that you can reach the summit. I made this climb, so that using this unconscious and using these stages, I made my own personal climb. I'll tell you a habit that I built was going to the gym early. So I love working out, and I made a decision, not this current school year, but the last school year, that all of my workouts would have to happen before my kids got up. So I needed to go to the gym and be home by 7 a.m. I told myself a story for a long time that I couldn't do that. Linda here actually knows me from when we were building a network marketing company together. And sometimes there were women who would do like a 6 a.m. club. I completely resisted getting up before 6. It couldn't have a 5 in the number, none of that, because in my head, it was just this mental block that it was way too early and I'm going to be way too exhausted throughout the day. I can wake up at 6:05 or a little bit after, but never 5 something. So I needed to make that change because I needed to create change in my life. Okay. I needed to get my workouts in consistently. 5:20 is my wake up call, 5:15, 5:20. I started doing that September of last year, and it has become the most beautiful habit. Like how it's become on unconscious competence. It is the most beautiful thing, ladies, when you feel the habit just become effortless, where I have eliminated all decisions about my workouts. I don't have to think about what time am I waking up tomorrow because I know exactly when I lie in bed, I say, Alexa, set my alarm for 5:15. Okay. And I know when the alarm goes off, I move immediately. There's no lying there and thinking. That's a strategy all in itself. You get up, you move. My clothes are already laid out the night before. I put them on. This is gross. I don't even brush my teeth in the morning. Okay. I put my clothes on. I go downstairs. I wash my face, grab my water bottle, hop in the car. I go. I put gum in my mouth so I don't have like stinky breath. But that's my routine and it's become effortless and it is just a part of who I am. It's the unconscious competence of my health and fitness journey. So it's really cool when you start to witness it in yourself. And I'm sure you guys have witnessed things become habits in your life. So the most important thing to do is to become the person that you wish to become, right? What is it that you like? Imagine that person, that woman in her midlife years. What is she doing? What does her body look like? How strong is she? How active is she? What kind of conversations is she having? What do her habits look like? What is she eating? Like, see her, and then you slowly do the things that she does to become her. So, how do I know that like these pillars and all this stuff that I'm talking about, how do I know it works? Because this was my results. This was me on the left, right, wearing the black. That was me in 2023. And then I don't remember when the picture was on the right. It was at some point this year. It was the transformation that I've been able to make. Okay. Building muscle, losing weight, I'm stronger than ever. Because I track my weights, I can see how heavy I lift, making food noise almost gone, feeling like I'm winning when it comes to nutrition, finding this balance of enjoying my chips and enjoying the ice cream, occasionally having a drink, like, and not feeling like a piece of shit because I did. Like, it's such a different mentality and mindset. I'm going to share some other pictures. Okay. So, ladies, I want you to notice like the muscle growth. The picture of me standing to the side, and I'm going to say this to you, and it's not to brag, but it's about like I genuinely have moments of so what happens, but and this is what you'll probably experience on your own personal journey, is that I will go months of being mostly consistent and then it's like I have to go months and then I suddenly start to see some subtle changes. And I have these little whispers in my head, like, this actually works. Like even though I have modeled it, I've done it, I still am in shock that it works because everything that I've done for decades was so freaking hard. And I promise you that this does not feel hard. There are moments when you're learning it and there's so many more decisions to make that it may feel like harder, but it becomes a lifestyle. So when I have the picture of me standing to the side and I've been able to change the shape of my legs and my butt, okay, I was on another untruth I told myself was that it's hard. It's really hard to build muscle in your 40s. I'm 48 years old. Okay. It is, I do the work in the gym. Um, I I want the workouts to feel hard, but it is not hard. Okay. It hasn't been challenging. I just needed to give it enough time. I am shocked that I brought some shape to my glutes. I would see like side angles of women and be like, oh my gosh, I wish my butt could look like that. I wish my hamstrings could look like that. And with consistent work, I was able to do it, right? And it took time. The pictures from there, January 1st to July 2020, like that's a year and a half difference between the photos. I wasn't in a hurry because I know that this is my lifestyle now forever. I'm not doing it and then stopping. This is just what I do. This is the version I wished to become. There's still tweaks I want to make to her, and I'm not talking physically. I mean, just, building in the fiber and just always honing to get better, right? But these are the results that I've been able to create. The picture on the left, I remember this being at Disney with my kids, wearing loose shirt. I wore loose shirts for years because I needed shirts away from my stomach because I was embarrassed of my fat stomach, right? Remember, I thought I had the tumor in my stomach. But now being able to wear clothing that is more form-fitted because I feel like I'm thriving in my body, and not just because my body is smaller, but my body is stronger and I feel capable and confident. This is a client of mine from March to July. This is some results that she's gotten. This is what another client of mine. I love this one because, and I hope, like, I would say she's probably one of my clients. She's been in my membership for a year now, who is probably the least engaged. I don't even know how much she listens to. She doesn't show up in the Facebook group often, but obviously, based from conversations I've had with her, she is listening. She in the summer, this was from the summer, this is June, so it's hard to lose weight in the summer. She lost 18 pounds in the summer. Okay. She's actually now up to 20. My last update was Friday. She texted me 20.2 pounds lost since June. So I said to her, I can't wait to see where you'll be by the end of the year. And her comment was, this has been the mind shift for me. The idea that it doesn't have to be all at once and in a certain time frame. That if I'm mostly consistent, then a year from now, I'll be ahead of where I'd be if I did nothing. Something is better than nothing all the time. So here's the top secret. Like, I know we're all hope that there has to be some other secret that Michelle's talking about because it can't be these 7 pillars, right? I want you to know that the rules haven't changed in our midlife years. But what is honest is that the margins have gotten tighter. Okay. We don't have as much wiggle room in our habits as we used to be able to have. So what this means to me, what the aha moment for me was these last few months, was that the habits that we've known, this is like a for me to the aha moment for me to teach my clients, is that the habits that we have all known, and I've known to do for a long time, right? Balancing your meals, managing your calories, moving your body, all of that, they're more crucial now than ever, right? We can't put it aside, put it off, keep waiting. It's more crucial now than ever because it takes time to build and time to create change. And you want to make change, right? So the rules haven't changed, the margins have gotten tighter. I love this quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer. It says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I hope just from what you've heard tonight about what diets we've been sold and told, like when if and what is possible for you when you begin to look at it a different way, I hope you feel differently about it. So I have this I had this analogy of a brick wall of I feel like diet culture has put this brick wall in front of us that feels really hard to bust through. All of the lies, it's your willpower, you need to fast, you need to do HIIT workouts, you get to have a cheat day, you got to eat clean, you need to restrict. There's a wall that's built up in front of us, and we've all felt that wall. But ladies, we need to bust the wall down and we need to rebuild it habit by habit, right? One brick at a time. And we can build that wall, but it takes time. So what now? After all that I've told you, what is happening? What's Michelle going to talk about now? I want to invite you to take a look at my passion project, which is my Midlife Magic membership. So it is a community that I built of women. It's a 3-month program where you get access to the Midlife Mastery app, in which you get workouts. I give you workouts to do to encourage you to move your body. And as I say that, I want you to know something. In this membership, you don't have to do anything. You can do some things, right? So I give you all the tools that you need, and you choose when you're ready to do what works for you. You have the opportunity for meal tracking, habit building, strength training workouts. We have a private Facebook community. I do two monthly live group coaching calls, right? Where we usually talk about some topic, and I do have some kind of coaching opportunity. You have questions because there's a gazillion questions we have on this lifestyle. You're questioning anything, bring it to the call, we talk it through. We have one virtual Q&A with my naturopath who becomes all of my clients' naturopath because she's amazing. She specializes in menopause. She answers all of your questions, right? And it goes beyond menopause. So she comes in. I hired her to come in to do one call in the 3-month period. I talk about this. I teach the 7 pillars to effective weight and hormone management. We talk about meal tracking, nutrition guidance. We talk about behavior. We have to change our behaviors. So there's behavior-based coaching. We have a weekly focus. We have monthly challenges. We got guidance and opportunities for coaching. So the program is 149 for 3 months. So for not a month, but for the 3 months, it's 149. Start date of October 1st. The program for when we start in 2026 is going to go up to 249 because I feel like there's been enough value created that 249, once people experience it, they'll say like, yeah, it's worth way more than that. However, for right now, for this next week until we start October 1st, I want to have you have the opportunity to consider bringing a friend into the program. So if you have a friend who wants to join, each of you will get $20 off. It'd be 129 each because there's nothing better than doing this thing with people that you love, right? And people that you want to help because I'm sure you're having many conversations about these things with your girlfriends. So by now, you should have an email on your inbox about how to enroll if you wish to enroll into the membership. And here's one thing I want to just let you know because women come into the membership and on the first day, they're waiting for like a program to be, hold on. I thank you in questions, but I want to like come off the screen. I think women expect to have a program hand it to them and because they're used to the light switch on and off that October 1st, what are we changing, Michelle? Where is this program? What are we doing? October 1st is the first day of learning. It's the first day of like beginning to learn what is needed on the journey. I truly believe that women leave the 3 months having toolbox. Like they have not only one, they're like double-fisted toolboxes with all of the tools that they need to help them feel amazing in their bodies for decades to come. However, saying that, I do not expect anybody to be implementing all of the things within the 3 months because it's a lot. I teach a lot in this program. So oftentimes women repeat it. I've had women who join twice a year. I offer an annual membership. So I have women join for a year because they know there's like learning, there's so much layering of this. But you have the tools you need, right? To really win on this journey. And I totally lost my train of thought on that. So we start next week. I want you to think about when you started 2025, did you have health and fitness goals for yourself? Where are you at right now? And really encourage you to look at coming in, learning what you need to finish 2025 strong and to really go into 2026 with a solid foundation, right? Because I like imagine when I talk about give it a year and 3 months. Can you imagine what the end of 2026 will look like for you and feel like for you, right? If you give yourself time to learn, implement, grow, it's going to be transformational. So I hope you got something out of tonight. If you all leave with a little nugget that you can apply tomorrow, not Monday, no waiting, but if you can apply tomorrow, ideally tonight, drink the water, go to bed at a good time, whatever it is, right? Then you're winning, right? You go to bed putting your head on your pillow, knowing you did something good. That was the catalyst for me to want to create change, is that I was tired of going to bed every night upset that I didn't do what I said I was going to do. So which is why I really break things down for myself and for my clients so they can win. They can say, I'm going to do these small things and they can do them and then they win. I have a coaching client right now who's been really struggling. It's actually a male client. He was doing his strength training workouts consistently, his back buggered up, and he's like, I'm really struggling to get back on track. So because he's struggling, I just said, here's what you're going to do. You're going to do every day one set of push-ups and 20 squats with no weights, just 20 squats. That's it. And I wanted him to start winning at that, right? Simple things. And he's winning. He's doing it consistently, and that feels good. Like doing what you said you're going to do feels good. So there's so many tweaks that we can do to help you win that's the beauty of coming together in the community. And that's when it's like doing the work in between your ears. Because it's not about what should I eat? And, it's not just about what should I eat and what should I do for exercise? There's so many other layers to it. The pillars, 7 pillars, and then the mindset piece. So very grateful for your time tonight, ladies. I just at the hour mark right now. Happy to answer any questions that any of you have. If you want to write them in the chat, if you want to unmute yourself, happy to answer. Thanks, Linda. I'm proud of my transformation. When I teach my fitness classes, I tease the members because I teach body pump and it's an hour of weights. And I'm like, don't you want someone to look at you and say, do you work out? Like, don't you want to look strong? None of us are going to go and get big and bulky because it's very difficult to go and lift heavy enough weight and eat the amount of calories you need to get big and bulky. But you want to look strong, right? Strong and healthy. That's what we're aiming for. All right, no one's
I
heard a question.
I have two questions.
Go ahead, bring it.
The first, and it might be you might cover this in the membership, is how do you know what the right number of calories is for you?
I'll tell you all right now. I'm going to type a website into TDEE calculator. There's a website called, did I type it? Oh my gosh, TDEE calculator.net. It's a website. TDEE stands for Total Daily Energy Expenditure. Hold on. Okay, so what that does is it's going to give you a little like a fill in that you fill in a form.
Okay. Okay.
You put your sex, your age, your height, your weight, and your activity level, and it's going to populate your calories. It's going to tell you the calories that you need. The number that will show up are the calories that you need to maintain your weight. So it's based on your body size and your activity level. My calories for my maintenance are 2,222. If I want to lose weight, I eat less than that, right? So people tend
Hmm.
to randomly choose 1,500 calories or 1,200 because they hear it on the social media, but there's a
Yeah.
number specific to you.
Okay.
And we work with that number because if I have a client who lost 20 pounds, guess what she needs to do? Recalculate her
Yeah.
calories because now she's a different body size. So that's exactly how you do it. And just for accuracy, just so you guys know, I went and did something called a DEXA scan 2 weeks ago, which is like a gold standard scan for testing bone density, and it tests body composition. So it shows you how much muscle to fat you have on your body. The DEXA scan was so the DEXA scan told me what my basal metabolic rate is, which is the same number that the TDE calculator tells you, and it was like within 50 calories. So this calculator is very accurate.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
The other question I have about moving your body,
Mhm.
I've seen, and you've probably all seen this on social media. It's like, oh, I only need to do 6,000 steps a day. I need to do 13,000 steps a day. Like, is there a formula for that, or
So,
just move
well,
your body, or just move your body?
you're gonna come across probably an Instagram page now that your phone heard you ask this question, and there's gonna be, because I see it on the ads. What is the walking formula for you? The goal is to move more. So if you guys are moving, if you're walking, okay, if you're not walking, I would love to see people start walking for 10 minutes a day. And then 10 minutes a day consistently. Because 10 minutes a day, when you do it consistently, you will naturally have a desire to go, because you're on a journey, you will naturally have this desire to want to go further. So that will likely turn into 15. Just like if you're lifting a weight and it becomes too light, you know to pick up something heavier. Okay. There is no formula. I would say what you're going to hear is 7,000. Um, 7 to 10. I resisted any kind of step count because for me personally, ladies, it felt like pressure. We don't want pressure. We don't want stress, right? We want to just try to do this with as much like grace and space as possible. So for me, I just started to walk more. right? Now I can consistently hit 7,000 a day. So that becomes a new normal for me. So I try to make an effort now because I feel mentally ready for it for 7 to be my normal. We
Okay.
did a walking challenge in my membership in August. Oh my gosh. I chose a goal, ladies. I put the bar really high. I don't know why I chose 150 kilometers for the month of August. It was I couldn't even hit it, and I worked hard at it. So it works out to be just over 5 kilometers a day, I believe. I hit 125 or something like that kilometers, but I didn't feel, none of us felt like a failure because that goal stretched us further. Like I got notifications on my watch, your walking trend has changed. So I was walking more. And here's the really cool thing from that walking challenge. I was walking near the end of it. I did with my one of my client, that lady who lost 20 pounds. Her and I, 2 weekends in a row, did a 10K walk. Okay, so we walked for almost 2 hours. I've been consistently doing 5K a couple times a week, an hour walk. My walk used to be 15 minutes. Then my longer walk was 25 minutes. And then the long, long walk just started in August, which was the hour. Okay. My 25-minute walk is now my normal walk. I don't even do the 15-minute one anymore. It's like, it's not. It's like my 25 is my short walk. Your standards change, but you grow into that new standard. So Linda, the number, don't put a target for the number, just walk more.
Oh,
And
I walked lots in
yeah,
Croatia, let me tell you.
yeah, I can imagine.
Like
I
I
can
was,
imagine.
yeah, it was crazy. And I mean, I felt like I think I lost 10 pounds while I was on vacation,
And
which
how did your
is,
body feel walking a lot more?
it felt good.
Right? Like we have and I know vacation gives you time. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But I also
Yeah.
think sometimes people put these parameters like I can't walk that far. Oh, but you can go to Croatia and walk 20,000 steps in a day.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, that we can be on this whole little.
Yeah, I
It's just
know.
about we are
Okay.
all capable of more than we realize.
So one final question.
Yes.
So I have somebody in mind that might want to join. Like, is it
Yeah.
okay to share the recording with that person, or would
Yes,
you
please
prefer?
do. Honestly,
Okay.
ladies, my vision, like honestly, I feel like this message needs to get to as many people as possible because we need to heal our heads, right? And like and strengthen our bodies because there's so much BS out there that and there's so much being sold to women and it's just keeping them on that hamster wheel and keeping my chest gets tight thinking about it because I know what they go through. I hear it. And we need to get this message out. At the very least, I'm happy if someone watches the recording and they learn something. Do I want them in the membership? Sure, because I'd love them to learn more. Do I want to make money? Sure. But I want to make money if you guys are happy learning what you're learning, right? So I work hard making sure that you guys get as much as possible out of the membership. But I'm happy that if you follow me on social media and you learn from the tips that I give you there and you don't spend a penny. Like as long as you are learning and growing and sharing, and then just tell your girlfriends listen to this girl, follow what she said, right? My goal is to just let's heal. Let's heal our relationship with food and dieting and our bodies. And let's be freaking pretty incredible 80-year-olds. It sounds so crazy, but that's just what I've been thinking so much about lately because that's just what I've been studying, right? About what we want to be doing when when we're older. So one more example I'll just tell you because we're talking about movement. Saw a great interview on social media. A gentleman was talking, I think he's maybe an exercise physiologist. He was talking to an older lady who was very upset, a client of his, because she's considering going into some kind of assisted living facility. He said, why? She goes, I'm not able to do some of the things in my house. Like I'm not able to move as well. One of the things she wasn't able to do was get on and off the toilet well. So he did this to her. He said to her, hold on, he said, stand up. He made her like plant her feet properly on the ground, put her hands on her thighs, lean forward, right? Start to slide her hand down and lean forward and like drop her butt. He taught her how to squat. And by her squatting, she's getting on a toilet. And then he taught her how to reverse it, how to put her hands in her thigh and push herself up, right? Like, ladies, if we get good at squatting, we will be independent very likely when we're older. So he said when this client, when he taught her how to squat, she had tears in her eyes because she's like, okay, I can do this, which means now I don't need to move. Right? And it sounds like what we don't realize is that if we don't nurture these bodies, if we don't get out and do longer walks, how far do you think you're going to be able to walk when you're 80? We don't just keep it. We don't just keep our strength and keep our movement and keep our mental like our mental not our mental health, but like our brain health. We have to work at it, right? I don't just keep my muscle, I have to work at it. And this is why I become passionate about this because we all need to be doing the work. It's more crucial now than ever, not just for the smaller body, right? But for the stronger one. I can talk forever. So I'm gonna Linda knows. I'm gonna shut this down. You're going to you have an email in your inbox. I will send this recording tomorrow. I just need some time. I don't need to edit a ton, but I just want to get a cover on it and whatnot. Tomorrow afternoonish, I will email this out. Please feel free to share it with your friends and just have them spread the word about the learning. Would I love them to join the membership? Absolutely. But if not, at least they learned a nugget or two or three, and mama's happy. So thanks for being here. You guys have a great night.